Have you ever had a product selling extremely well for you on the Amazon influencer program and then suddenly, poof, you stop getting any sales on it, you wonder what's going on, and then you go over to the product listing page and the product's not being sold anymore, no featured offers available. This is what is known as a dead ASIN, ASIN, Amazon Standard Identification Number. This generally happens when a product is just straight up no longer sold on Amazon. And this can be extremely frustrating, especially for Amazon influencers, because some of us buy products specifically with a purpose to review it. And if it stops being sold on Amazon, well then all that work kind of goes down the drain. And this happened to me a few times, and I've learned throughout the course of the influencer program how to kind of avoid this. It can't be avoided entirely because no matter how good and how big the product is, eventually it might just stop being sold on Amazon, might be discontinued, there might be a new model, any of that stuff. But let me ask you, have you ever heard of this brand called Piffa? Have you heard of this brand? Because this happened to me with this too. Also, let me show you. This isn't me just making this up. See this? I actually have these very earbuds. And both of these were selling extremely well for me. I was selling like 6 of these like every single day. Then all of a sudden this just disappeared. And if you go ahead and click into this, you can only buy this used. They're just not selling it anymore. Not only that, but this actually changed names before, like completely different listings, because there were way more than 161 ratings. There were like thousands of ratings, but then they changed the name of it. But again, you've probably never heard of that company Piffa or GNMN, and that's for a good reason. Amazon is full of a lot of private label brands. What this means is there's a general manufacturer that makes products. It could be lights, it could be headphones, it could be all kinds of stuff. And it's just a generic product where it doesn't have any branding on it. And then individual brands can buy up inventory of that, and then they can have their own label. They can have their own brand written on it. So this is common with like webcams and stuff like that. A lot of the really cheap ones. This is just really, really cheap products that are like crazy budget items. But the important thing to note here is that a lot of these brands, nobody knows of them, and they're just getting them on Amazon because it's like the cheapest thing that you find when you search for like headphones or something like that, or earbuds or spatulas or whatever. I even have a chair. That chair right behind me, you may have seen it. It's not a coincidence that I got that chair and then the place that I moved over to, they have that chair. Then also at the events that I go to, like they're for fighting game tournaments, they happen to have those exact same chairs. Most likely it's just one of those private label brand things where one manufacturer is making the same chair, and that's why there's no like branding or anything on it, because it's all the same one. So the objective of this video is to really tell you that if you're looking to buy something from the Amazon influencer program and you want something that's going to stay up for a long time, you want your video to stay up on the carousel for a long time, you want to get commissions for a long time, because hey, that's the whole point of what we're doing. Those might not be the best brands to take a look at. Brands that you've never heard of that look like private labels, because there's a lot of like, you know, the gibberish letters and stuff like Kahaya, GNMN, Piffa and stuff like that. You just like, what is this name? You know what I mean? The reason that these companies use these names is because they're trying to avoid copyright infringement with any other actual brand. And then they just make up whatever name that they can just so they can sell on Amazon to say that they're a seller. And then once their inventory runs out, or if they get in trouble or whatever, they can just change their name, sell the same product, but it'll just be under a different brand name. That's why a lot of times when you like buy certain devices, like it's not going to have the actual logo on it. This one's actually kind of surprising that it has a logo. There'll be like very minimal branding on the box, very minimal branding on the actual product itself, so that they can just go ahead and turn around, change their name, and then sell it under a different name if they need to. So if you're going to go out of your way to actually buy something to review for the Amazon influencer program, you're going to see a lot of these products without full carousel slots. I would just say consider looking at something that is a little bit more mainstream first before you go ahead and pick up something like that, because it might be fool's gold in the long run, because it's going to sell a ton of units really fast, sell out, and then they're just never going to restock it, and they might not even exist anymore in 6 months.